Have you ever wondered what your strength is made of? Have you ever stopped to think about the toughest moments in your life, when everything seemed lost, yet somehow you found a way to keep going? The strength we carry within us is extraordinary. It doesn't show up with spotlights, nor does it seek applause. It's silent, resilient, and unshakable. It reveals itself in those moments when we think we can't go on, but against all odds, we do. It is this strength that builds our story and shapes who we are. Think about the heaviest days you've ever lived through. Maybe it was the end of a relationship, an irreparable loss, or a situation that seemed to have no way out. In those moments, you may have believed you had no strength left, that continuing was impossible. Yet here you are, still here, reading this, breathing, living. That means something. It proves there is resilience within you that defies the odds, disregards barriers, and insists on fighting even when everything seems to be against you. Resilience is often underestimated. We live in a world that glorifies visible victories, grand achievements, and success stories that seem unattainable. But what about the small daily battles? What about the times you chose to get out of bed, despite feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders? What about the nights when you cried silently, but decided to try again the next day? Those small victories are just as important as any trophy or medal. They reveal who you truly are. Life isn't easy for anyone. We all carry battles that often no one else sees. Perhaps you are facing something right now. A problem that seems unsolvable, a fear that refuses to let go, or a pain you don't know how to overcome. Feeling overwhelmed is natural. It's human. But let me tell you something. Inside you, there is a strength you might not yet have discovered. A strength that has the power to turn your pain into learning, your fear into courage, and your doubts into determination. This strength isn't something you need to seek outside of yourself. It's already there, waiting to be awakened. Every experience you go through, whether good or bad, helps to shape it. Challenges aren't just obstacles. They're opportunities for growth. They teach you to be stronger, more resilient, more yourself. And when you realize this, something changes. You begin to see life differently, with more courage and more hope. Think about how many times you've already overcome what you once thought was insurmountable. Remember the nights when you believed there would be no new dawn, but it came. Remember the times you thought about giving up, but found a reason, no matter how small, to keep going. Those moments aren't coincidences. They are proof of your strength, your ability to endure, to face, and to triumph. Resilience isn't the absence of weakness. It's not about never feeling fear or never failing. It's exactly the opposite. It's about feeling fear, failing, and still continuing. It's about acknowledging your vulnerabilities and turning them into tools for growth. It's about understanding that life isn't a straight line, but a journey full of highs and lows, and that every step, no matter how small it seems, is progress. Have you ever thought about how your story might inspire others? You might not realize it, but your journey, with all its difficulties and triumphs, is a source of strength for those around you. Every time you choose to stand up, even when everything seems to be against you, you show the world what it truly means to be resilient. You show that no matter how difficult the circumstances, there is always a way to move forward. I'm not here to tell you that life will always be easy, or that your battles will simply disappear. That would be a lie. What I want to tell you is that you are stronger than you imagine, that you've proven it to yourself countless times, even if you didn't notice, and that no matter how big the challenges seem, the strength within you is greater. If you're reading this now, maybe it's because you need a reminder that you are not alone, that your struggles are valid, and that your strength is real. I want you to know that even in the darkest moments, there is a light inside you that never goes out. That light is your essence, your courage, your resilience, and it's always there, waiting to shine. Life is a journey full of challenges, but also of possibilities. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. And every time you choose to continue, you are writing a story of courage and determination that deserves to be told. So, what will you do with the strength you carry? Will you let it lie dormant, or will you use it to transform your life? The choice is yours. But let me tell you this, you have everything you need to win. You are more capable, more resilient, and more amazing than you ever imagined. And now is the time to prove that to yourself. Stand up, face your challenges, and above all, believe in yourself, because you can. These words are not just a motivational cry. They are a reminder of what we are capable of achieving when we decide not to give up. We all face moments when the weight of challenges feels unbearable, but it is precisely in these moments that true resilience is forged. History is filled with examples of people who, against all odds, stood up, faced their fears, and turned their difficulties into strength. Consider, for example, the story of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps during World War II. Frankl lost his family and was subjected to the most inhumane conditions imaginable. But even in the face of indescribable suffering, he found within himself a reason to live. In his work, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl shares his experience of psychological resilience, showing that even in extreme situations, the choice of how to react to suffering can make the difference between surviving and succumbing. He resisted not because the conditions were easy, but because he believed in the power of the human mind to transform pain into purpose. Look also at the story of Malala Yousafzai, who at the age of 15 was shot for advocating girls' right to education in Pakistan. Instead of being defeated by fear and violence, Malala stood up, becoming the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. She not only resisted the physical attack, but also turned her pain into a global mission for education. She teaches us that resilience is not just about overcoming fear, but about continuing to fight for something greater than ourselves, even when the world seems to be against us. Then there's the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in harsh prisons, facing constant abuse. The struggle against apartheid seemed impossible, but he remained strong, never letting the oppression break his spirit. When finally released, instead of seeking revenge, he chose to forgive and unite his country. Mandela showed us that true resilience is not just surviving suffering, but using it as fuel to promote peace and change. He didn't just resist the circumstances. He became an icon of how resilience can transform not only a life, but an entire nation. These examples are not isolated. They reflect the power of human resilience in action, which means that, just like these historical figures, you also have within you the strength to face any adversity. Life is not about avoiding falls. It is about learning to stand up after each one. It doesn't matter how many times you stumble. It doesn't matter how tough the road seems. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Remember, resilience is not the absence of pain or difficulty, but the ability to keep going, even when everything seems lost. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, more determined. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent. Every time you get up, you become a more resilient version of yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your ability to rise again, no matter how hard the circumstances. Because in the end, what defines your destiny is not the obstacles you encounter, but how you choose to face them. And you can. You will. Stand up. Face your challenges. And above all, believe in yourself. Because resilience is what will take you further.